Hello everybody, welcome back to Can of Wormholes. It's a new day. I'm back to trying to build wires on stuff. As I recall, we were here on this puzzle. Now, I will concede, I struggled with this for a very, very long time. And then I moaned to the developer on Twitter because, not on Twitter, on Discord, because I could. And they sent over 5 hints. I looked at the first one and I solved the puzzle from there. I didn't need all of the alternate hints. Now I just have to replicate what I did several days ago because I did that off screen because I knew it was going to take me a small age. So we're going to start with this. So our first step is going to be, and this is the bit that kind of took me most by surprise, solve the puzzle normally up to the point that you've consumed all 3 dots. So the very first thing we do is consume all of the dots. Now, if you aren't aware of what I'm even talking about here, we need to connect these 2 little circles with a wire. The only wire that could do that is this snake here. So we need to get this worm, this wormhole, worm, needs to get out of the fenced area. So how are we going to do that? Well, once I knew I needed to have my full length for this. We can't do this now, but if I actually do things in the correct order, I can push that up there, that across here, that up there again, and I can cut off a piece of my tail. So, now I just have to remember how I go about doing the next thing I want to do, which is push this over to the left. And put that somewhere roughly here. And I want to break a piece of this fence. And to do that, I need my tail against a fence. No, I need my tail against a wall. Okay. Oh, we've crashed. In 24 hours, that is the first time the game has crashed. But we are back to where I just had it. So we're trying to eat this dot and break through this fence. So if we had it one higher up, I think we'd be fine, right? If I put that there and then do... It can't be that. It needs to be somewhere that the tail gets bunched up against a wall. So now we can get in, but we still can't get this out. So we need to make the hole bigger. Now, fortunately for us, we can put that there, except we can't because I have to get out again first. So we get out, we push that across, and we do the same trick twice. So now we have another dot. I'm going to push that over to the side here. I'm going to push it up, and now we need to eat this piece while our tail is backed up against something. Really, I'm sure there's a way that I could count the correct number of steps to get where I need, but I am not good at video games. Could I do it? I came out of here. There you go. So that's 2. And now we just need to do that once more. And we chop off our tail again. Bring this over. And then it's going to be that bit of fence. Now, where do I put my tail so that it has resistance is always the question. Not there. Can we go one further back? We can. Alright, so that gets out of the way. We can come around here. Pull this down. And because it has the hook on the bottom side... Oh, jeez. Because it has the hook on the bottom side, we can push it over. That makes the wire that we need. And I can do that for the first time. Very exciting. Okay. Which one were we working on? Is a great question. Probably just this one. I think we might need to reorient the ship, perhaps. Goes through there. In there, along the new wire. Okay. We need that door to connect to something. Let's get to the control room. First guess is this, although I should really have figured out if we were going forwards or backwards first. Okay, so this is not going to work, I don't believe. Yes, correct. So we're going towards the head of the ship. Good knowledge. So would this work, I wonder? Zoom through here. Through our wire. Out a door. Okay. I understand what you're getting at, game. So we came through here. And now I need to build a wire on this level as well. Alright then. Let's try and figure that out. It's a wire that's 4 long. Oh, God. How? We have fences. So, my best guess is something like I have to... Let's just do some figuring out here. If I push that to... there. I can't back up that way. Well, we are exactly as long as we need to be to finish. And there are 4 dots to be consumed. So, I'm assuming that we're going to eat 3 dots. Eat a 4th dot to back our tail up into the air. Except how are we then going to get onto... Oh god, we can't make... Okay, so let me start my thought process fresh. We are 5 long. There are 4 dots. This wire connection is 4 pieces long. So I need to become a 9 long worm and then cut off my back 4 segments while they are in the correct L shape to affix this. To do that, we need to lift ourselves up onto the black walls, I think, in order to be able to drop down on a fence in the correct cutting motion. To do that, we would need to kink ourselves and then eat a worm and roll in order to climb up onto the fences, onto the black walls. So that all seems like a very large mystery to me, because without another worm in place, I can't cut myself. Let's just start experimenting then. If I do something like this, I can put that by a fence. Except that's just gonna kick my head back. Here, I can't turn around there to push that other one backwards. I can do that. Push that down. Eat this. Push that back to there, but that's on the wrong angle for the fence. And still push that down. Oh, man. Where could I be? Right, so... if I ate that lower one first... if I eat this, then push this back, then come this way, I can break this fence. But having broken that fence, can do very little of anything else. How could I cut myself so early? Is what I don't understand about all of this. Because I don't understand how I'm getting up onto the top or making any other worm that I can then manipulate. I'm really not sure. I eat one more before eating that. I can do this. But with this done, I can't flip myself. I can't rotate, I can't roll. I just exist as a very tall snake. Oh man, this has come off the rails real fast, hasn't it? What other mechanics do we know? There's holding a ball in your mouth if you can't grow it heads or tails. There's knocking down a fence with your head. There's climbing up backwards with your tail. There's rotating so that you're in water, but we don't have something to rotate off of. I'm assuming you can't make a wire out of 4 dots. Even if you could, you can never get this dot out of this left-hand side because you can't get behind it to push it, ever. Goodness, I have no idea. These fences on the left-hand side seem more like ones that I would back up onto. This one seems more like something that you would roll into the side of to cut it, but there is no rolling here without something to bite onto to then roll. Alright, I could be here forever, so I'm going to pause the recording right now because I've got very little to go on. As soon as I find something to go on, I will be right back with you. It is 8 seconds later after I paused, and I immediately had a thought. I've not developed this thought at all, but one other way that we know how to cut ourselves on a flat surface is to eat our own tail and then back up into a fence. So if we've eaten our own tail whilst we're in the correct shape, we can jump around and then cut ourselves on the fence with our rear segment making the L shape that we need, or at least an L shape that can be manipulated. So at least now we have a goal. Get enough pellets out into the open that we can form a shape to eat our own tail. So to do that, we're going to need to find some way into the maze that lets us push stuff around and out. So, first of all, put that there. And that there. Don't think we want to back that up as much, although, excuse me, I think we don't need to use all of them to make the length. We can chop off part of what is already currently our body and then eat whatever dots remain in order to get to the length we need to be to finish. So I want that there, and then I can use that to turn around a bit, kind of. The problem is going to be, wait, I can then back that out of there. Okay, the start. How many do I think I need to make the shape I want to make when I eat it? Because I can also make myself longer prematurely. It's going to be mostly about thinking, how long do I want to be ultimately? I'm going to bring this dot down 1, just because then I can get behind it. I guess I could get behind it if I did that in some fashion, but this is easier to manipulate. So we've got one out. Now, here's the thing. This one, we can't push right. This one, we can't push up because we can't get our tail behind it. This one, we might be able to do something with. Maybe. Except if I push it left, I can't move it up. If I move it up, I can't move it left. If I move it right, I can't move it up. So I'm going to assume that this one dot is not enough to work with for what I'm plotting. Because I can't make a loop like that. I don't think. So I think we are going to need other dots out of the maze. The only other dot I think I can do that with is the one on the second one from the left. So I think the big part of the puzzle becomes getting that dot out. Which means if I know I'm not using those if I know I'm using those and I'm not using these, I can eat these early. And that shouldn't impact me badly. No guarantees on that, but you know. I can push that up. And then can't move it to the right yet. Obviously, if I make myself longer using the other pieces, I then limit how short I am for maneuvering myself around bits of the maze. Because I need to get a tail behind both of these. So I can do that. And then if I come out... Wait, that's too far. That. And then I can do this. Now, how would I get behind this? Great question. Because I would need my tail on the outside of it. Do we think I might need to break this fence? Would that help me? If this fence was broken, I'd have another place I could do a loop. Which would mean I could push this to the right more easily, I think. Although I'm not entirely certain about that. And which of these other dots could I consume to do that? Because the other thing is, I only need to eat one dot to make the Ouroboros tail eating myself state. So, actually that's a great point. I only need one out here. I'm being... Okay, I've overcomplicated this then. Because if I only need one out there, I can just get one out there and be fine. Which would be... that there. Eat this. Push this out. Turn around. Push that over there somewhere. And then it's going to be something like that, except I'm not long enough. So let's go and eat a different piece. That doesn't make me long enough either, so let's eat this piece. And then we just have to remember how we make an Ouroboros. Okay. And this is the correct shape. Oh my god, okay. Thank goodness. That is now a connected wire, and we are long enough to escape. We're making progress. Thank God I remembered about Ouroboroses. Okay, so back to here. Another attempt at launch. We'll see how far we get this time. Problem is, I know that when we get to the end of this line, there will be a puzzle to solve in order to fuel the ship. And I guess this is that puzzle. Okay, it looks like we need to cut our head off. Is my immediate thought, looking at all of this. If my head was cut off, I could stick it on here, roll that along there, roll that up, and then escape on the other side. So, to roll my head off, I'm going to need this. Over there somehow. And that is going to require this to be a bridge. Let's reset. So, I need this 3 long piece. Here. So that I can go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, cut my head off, and then this 3 long piece is going to have to roll the length of the 3 where my head are, so this, left. But if it tries to do that here, we would lose our head. So we need to make a bridge out of this 2 piece, but not there. And not here, because that leaves this gap open. So, figuring out how and where to put this piece is going to be crucial. Where else? We can do that. Oh, we can't do that. How can I get this higher? Is the question. I think perhaps we need this over here, acting as resistance somehow. But once I've done this, I can move it left because I can get up behind it. And then I can turn around and I can put that there. If this were... Let me just test my head chopping hypothesis. Yeah, so I need an island to roll to the finish. That's all I need. And that needs to be the two-piece in a different spot. How are we getting it to that spot? Well, here's another question. Ah, okay, yeah, I can do that, but that just makes an island in a totally unnecessary place. And if I did something like this, it doesn't cut. Okay. How do I get this two-piece further out to sea? That's good. I just need to do that while the three-piece is behind it. So that goes there. The three-piece comes to here. That goes there. Can I get out of here? I can. And then that needs to go... Ah, damn. Something like that, but not that. Because now that we have resistance from the three-piece, I can't bite down further onto it. I can also do that. That actually looks great. I was overthinking it, as I am wont to do. So we swing round, chop off our head, roll all the way over here, and that sends our fuel back. And that is another rocket. Zoom zoom. This is such a good puzzle game. Like, it's unbelievably good. Jumps out, joins its brethren. I'm assuming we're going to need, like, all of the legs before we can make the throw I'm thinking of, because we are still sluggish. That does not launch us in the air. So if you've missed it in the past, we are trying to launch ourselves over this wall to find whatever mysteries remain behind it. But we need more legs to do that, and to do that we're going to need to launch more rockets. So, if we look at the map screen, we can see that we now have 4 launched rockets, 3 remain. We might have some hints on our back of building TV screens that might be able to help us. But for now, that is a great place to finish off for the day. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you enjoyed the series, please do consider subscribing or hitting that like button. If you have any comments, questions, recommendations for other puzzle games I should play, let me know down in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.